Have you guys ever wondered who exactly in the world of professional wrestling on a major level has creative control over their characters, man? If you watch AEW television, you could easily see who has creative control and who does not. But what if you read the internet today and seen that Mercedes Mone doesn't have creative control? Would you believe anybody that told you that? Because I certainly don't. We got the latest and the newest narrative going around about Mercedes right here on Off the Script. Also, with AEW, they are taking residency in Philadelphia at the ECW Arena. That sounds really cool. We'll talk about that as well. Crown Jewel. It's not coming to Saudi, but it's coming to Perth, Australia. And I got the latest on Jeff Cobb and the creative plans for the former Matanza coming to WWE. And we'll talk about Jeff Cobb right here on today's Off the Script. It is your Friday, May 2nd, 2025. We will start with Jeff Cobb. Jeff Cobb supposedly has retired from pro wrestling. From what we know, that's not the case, and he's trolling everybody online. He said goodbye, though, to New Japan Pro Wrestling and is widely expected to join WWE, despite announcing, like I just previously mentioned, his retirement from professional wrestling on social media. Cobb exited New Japan Pro Wrestling after being granted his release, wrestling his last match in a New Japan ring on April 19th with a quick loss to Hiroshi Tanahashi. Now, per a report from WrestleVotes Radio, it is expected that Jeff Cobb will debut on the main roster soon, with his name already being floated in creative circles within WWE. In WWE, there was reportedly some debate as to where Cobb should end up. Those pushing for Cobb on the main roster pointed to his age, as he turns 43 this summer, while some in NXT were lobbying to bring Cobb into his leadership potential and perceive the lack of male stars currently at the top of their division for the World Championship on Tuesday night. Still, Cobb took to Twitter, or X, to announce his retirement, posting the following alongside a picture of him in the ocean looking out to the sea. He says, and I quote, and I'll throw it up on screen for you, 16 years is a long time to work. Happy retirement to me. I'll let the waves take me to my next destination. Can I wade in your water until I catch your wave? We will be seeing a tour of the islands very soon in WWE. I don't know where we put Jeff Cobb, honestly. From a guy who has followed Jeff Cobb here and there, is very familiar with his work. 43 years old is quite the age to be bringing into the WWE. It sounds more like an AEW thing than anything. 43 years old for Jeff Cobb. He obviously still has a lot to offer any promotion he ends up signing with, in this case, WWE. At the top of the NXT division, at the top of the male division on NXT for the World Championship at 43 years old, that's a little ridiculous. Maybe a couple of months if you want to do that, just to get him reaffirmed with the way WWE does things, television, entrance, camera work, all that stuff. Working the WWE style. I don't know. I'd bring him right to the main roster. And I know everybody's been talking about Jacob Fatu branching away from Solo Sikoa. Jacob Fatu leading his own faction on Friday Night SmackDown, where right now we don't have any threat from a faction on Friday Night SmackDown, especially if you want a priority in Jacob Fatu to build up his star power and make him the centerpiece of your show eventually. Jeff Cobb backing him up with some muscle seems like a great thing, being that they're both Samoans. So we will see what happens there, but I'm excited for Jeff Cobb to come in. I don't know exactly what they have going on with him. I don't know if they're going to end up changing his name. We don't know anything, but he's coming on in, and I'm excited to see what he does in WWE. Let me know what you guys think about Jeff Cobb down in the comment section below if you're excited for him coming into WWE. Crown Jewel is heading not to Saudi this year, but to Perth, Australia. The only Saudi show is happening in June, and that is named Night of Champions. Crown Jewel is headed to Perth, Australia this October, and John Cena has been confirmed to appear at that weekend's events of WWE shows in Perth. Now, if you guys are watching WWE television pretty regularly, you would have seen some announcements that WWE is going back to Perth, and they are later this year officially announcing a major weekend of events in Perth, Western Australia. The company confirmed that the Crown Jewel Premium Live event will broadcast live from the RAC Arena on Saturday, October 11, 2025. Man, I can't wait to wake up at 5:30 in the morning and start watching professional wrestling. But hopefully by that time, my new espresso machine will come and I'll be wide awake and ready to go. In addition to the major PLE, Perth fans will be treated to weekly WWE television shows broadcast from the same venue. WWE SmackDown is scheduled for Friday, October 10th, and Raw will follow on Monday, October 13th. And like I said, per the announcement, John Cena has been confirmed for the weekend's events in Perth, Australia. Should be fun. Should be fun. I know I'm glad I'm sticking with the VPN, ExpressVPN. So let's see how all this goes and shapes up for WWE. But that is a major announcement for WWE. Crown Jewel, which is usually something that they do in Saudi. And if you guys remember, last year they created those two championships, one for the women, one for the men. And I wonder if that's going to be a thing even here. I thought they did that specifically for the Saudi government. They wanted something to really have their, have on their own there. So we'll see what happens with those championships, if they will be defended here on this particular show going into Perth, Australia. Keeping with the shows, 2300 Arena in Philadelphia is set to host AEW this August, which sounds pretty fucking cool, man. I can't hate on this. 2300 Arena in Philadelphia to host AEW residency from Wednesday, August 27th to Thursday, September 11th. Wow. AEW issued the following: AEW Dynamite, AEW Collision, and Ring of Honor Death Before Dishonor to take place at the historic ECW Arena, now the 2300 Arena. They announced today that the 2300 Arena in Philadelphia will host an exclusive multi-week residency of Dynamite, Collision, and Ring of Honor, marking the first time in history that AEW events will be held at the ECW Arena. These events are in addition to the previously announced Ring of Honor Death Before Dishonor on Friday, September 5th. So this is what is scheduled to take place there. Wednesday's Dynamite on August 27th. Saturday's Collision on August 30th. The following week, September 3rd, Wednesday for AEW Dynamite. September 5th, Friday, Death Before Dishonor. Saturday, September 6th, will be AEW Collision. Wednesday, September 10th, AEW Dynamite. And Thursday, September 11th, a special taping of AEW Collision. Now, normally, the one thing that I see from this list of dates is that usually around this time frame, we do have AEW All Out. So unless AEW All Out is also taking place in the Philadelphia area or in the Pennsylvania area somewhere, so that they may remain with their residency, because it would be ridiculous to even leave the state or the city if they have all of their television tapings lined up for 2 weeks. I wonder where All Out is going to be, or what date, rather, All Out's going to be, because usually it happens in the first week of September, around Labor Day. And right now, according to this, just by what I'm looking at, it's not even on the list of things, unless, like I said, it's in Philadelphia or the Pennsylvania area. So we will see what happens with that. I think that's pretty fucking cool, and you can guarantee Tony Khan is going to really try and make a historic moment there and do something fucking crazy, hardcore something. I'm sure we'll get one of his memorable moments, and he's going to go all out for these shows. So it should be exciting, and I think that's pretty fucking cool. I actually like that AEW does this and has a residency somewhere and really kind of just goes all in for a week or two with their television tapings. I think that's fucking cool. And they're small enough to allow that to happen and for it to be a multi-week affair. So I think that really is cool, and I'm looking forward to that. So the crowd and the energy should be really fun, and we'll keep an eye on that, as well as where All Out is going to be. So again, that's not on the calendar here listed for the shows that AEW will have in the first couple of weeks of September. And we'll end with this, because this was a ridiculous story. And I don't know why anybody would believe a story such as this and a narrative such as this. Does Mercedes Mone have creative control in AEW? I don't know why this is a thing. I really don't. I'm going to report on it because it's topical news. But I don't know why this is drummed up again. I'm assuming it's only being drummed up again because it looks like she may win the Owen. We haven't seen Athena on television since she lost to Mercedes. Absolutely a non-factor, fucking ghosted. Not a single mention, not a single appearance since Mercedes and Athena had that one match that everybody so desperately wanted to see. You didn't see her again. She was brought in to lose, and then goodbye. Off you go. So I don't know why outside that, this was drummed up. I'm assuming fans and detractors have asked where Athena is and how could Mercedes use her creative control to just bury Athena like that and move on when she's one of the best talents in the women's division that AEW has. I'm going to make a safe bet and say that is what drummed up this conversation because otherwise I don't know why this is news. I don't know why this is in the news. Like clockwork, this is coming from Fightful. Whether it's someone established, someone who just won their first match on TV, or an international star rarely seen on AEW TV, whenever Mercedes Mone gets a win, there are unfounded claims of her exercising creative control to make sure she wins those matches. Fightful says that isn't the case. I don't know why they're putting this narrative out there when Mercedes herself went on and got interviewed by TMZ, where she clear as day said, I have creative control. Oh, if I could find the clip, I'm going to put it in the video. I have creative control over what I do in AEW.
I got this. I think just every single week you gotta watch. Yes, I have creative control, but I work with Tony Khan very closely, so it's great. It's a great combo.
So I got it.
Fightful Select reached out to sources in the know within AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling, who both denied. Of course they did. Of course they both fucking denied it. That type of thing never happened. And said they've never heard of her having creative control. Beyond that, a source familiar with both said she hasn't turned down losing because losing hasn't even been broached. Both companies had plans to push her heavily. They chalked up Mercedes' claims of creative control to largely being in character. Another source pointed to the fact that Mercedes actually changed the finish to her Willow Nightingale New Japan Pro Wrestling match on the fly to lose because she knew she sustained a serious injury. Well, that's not really creative control, but thanks for kind of painting her in a good light in this sense, because a lot of people are talking negatively about the TBS champion. Ladies and gentlemen, again, if I could find the clip, I'm going to post it in here. She said it herself. The woman is the highest paid woman, one of the highest paid talents, period, male or female, in the entire sport right now. Have you watched AEW television? Have you caught a glimpse of AEW television? You don't think that there are prominent performers in that company that have some sort of creative control? Now, what is creative control? I said I'd get back to that. This said that there are unfounded claims of her exercising creative control to make sure she wins those matches. Creative control is not, she goes to Tony, dictates what's going to happen, and I'm going to win, I'm going to lose, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And it's all based on her. And then Tony says yes. I wouldn't be surprised if that is the case because Tony's weak. But creative control in a balanced environment is the creative team coming up with creative, said talent, an example like Mercedes. She listens to the creative. She says, that works for me, but let's tweak this, let's tweak that. I want to change it to this, and I want to do this, and I think this is going to work out better. And then her ideas get brought up to the creative team. The creative team brings it to whoever, in this case, Tony Khan, and then they all agree to use some of the creative ideas from the creative team and some of Mercedes' ideas, which will be incorporated into the storylines. That is creative control. Everybody in a prominent role has that specific type of creative control. If you don't believe any of what I just said, you are either fucking stupid or you are completely numb to the fact of everything going on, and you so vehemently want AEW to be a certain way, and you can't have anybody talk bad and negatively about AEW, man. Dumbing down the reports to put out a fire. This is AEW's fucking motto. This is what they do. Mercedes has creative control. Jon Moxley has creative control. Chris Jericho has creative control. The Young Bucks have creative control. Adam Copeland has creative control. A lot of guys, especially Okada, you don't think those guys are making money? The money that they're making, they don't have some sort of say or creative control in what they do. You don't think Chris Jericho has creative say in what he does. You don't think Chris Jericho goes to Tony Khan and says, hey, boss man, I want to do this. Can we get this approved? Sure, Chris, no problem. You're a loyal soldier. We're going to do what you want to do. You don't think the Young Bucks have creative control? The Young Bucks wanted to lose the titles, reportedly, to the Outrunners. And that was not the case. That got denied. Who denied it? That was creative control from the Young Bucks to somebody who denied it. Otherwise, it would have happened. It did not happen for whatever reason. And they opted to go with Private Party. You don't think the Hurt Syndicate has creative control? They were just interviewed by Chris Van Vliet. And they said they have a lot more leeway where they are now than where they just came from. Guys, I'm going to need you to really open your eyes and open your ears and question everything that you hear and everything that you see. There are people that are pushing specific narratives because they don't want the truth out. And if the truth is out, they're going to try and dumb down the truth and hide the truth with false claims and false reports. And in this case, coming from Fightful, they're going to go through a major publication that has the respect of Fightful, and everybody in the community, knows Fightful to be reputable outside of PW Insider, or Dave Meltzer pushes his AEW narrative. If it comes from any one of these people who are clearly pro-AEW, AEW is going to use these outlets to dumb down reports, because if not, these are bad reports. They give AEW a bad name. They give Mercedes a bad name. They give the talent a bad name. All of the prominent talent in AEW has creative control. Mercedes, I guarantee you, Mercedes chooses who she wants to work with. She has her own fucking writer, for Christ's sakes. Guarantee you she says who she wants to work with, or gives ideas of who she wants to work with, pitches ideas for storylines. You don't think that everything that's going on right now is also coming from Mercedes? You don't think Mercedes is already pushing for a match with Tony Storm at All In Texas? I mean, it's one thing for creative control from the talent. It's another thing for Tony Khan, and how much power he does give to the talent. How much power is he giving to the talent? He don't give a fuck. He's not going to say no to these people for the amount of money that they're making. He should say no, but he's not going to say no to these people. He's not. He's going to willingly do whatever to make them happy, because he is just over the moon thrilled that they're even with AEW, and he has the right to say, I own Mercedes Mone, and she wrestles for my pro wrestling company, and Kenny Omega, and Chris Jericho, and Swerve Strickland, and Will Ospreay, and The Hurt Business, and Adam Copeland, and Jon Moxley. This is the way it is, folks. All of the prominent names in AEW have some sort of creative control. Even some of the names in WWE have creative control. You think if Triple H came to John Cena and gave him free reign to do whatever he wanted to do, you don't think John Cena's going to go and do a little something he wanted to do? Cody Rhodes? Cody Rhodes goes to Triple H and says, hey, H, I want to work with this guy. Let's figure something. You don't think Triple H is going to tell him no? John Cena wants to work with Finn Balor. You think Triple H is going to say no to John Cena? You fucking kidding me? Randy Orton, hey, listen, boss, I want to work with this guy. Let's figure something out. Randy Orton handpicked Joe Hendry for his WrestleMania match. That is creative control. Just something that small is creative control. Open your ears. Open your eyes. Stop giving people your money for bullshit. Creative control exists in many different facets, many different aspects. The fact that this report is saying she has none at all is fucking ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. They should be ashamed that they even put this report out. Fucking bullshit. Anyway, that's what I got. I'll have more news this weekend, and we'll round out the news on Saturday and Sunday right here on Off the Script. I'll be live tonight with the SmackDown post show right here on Off the Script. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up down below. Let me know what you think of the top stories down in the comments section. Hit that subscribe button as well. We are on our way to 171,000 subscribers here on YouTube. And if you missed any of the content on the channel previously this week, some great content out there. Go to the homepage. It is all right there for you. Staring you right in the face. TNT, Monday Night Raw, AEW Dynamite. Go check all those streams out. Some entertaining stuff coming from those streams. And I'll see you guys again live tonight for the Friday Night SmackDown post show right here on Off the Script. I'll see you guys later.